Assassin's Creed Shadows is here, and with it comes the mysterious and somewhat controversial Animus hub. This is a sort of secondary launcher for the game. Now, before launch we had some leaks about sort of Helix packs and battle passes and content and how to obtain it and paid everything, you know, microtransactions, all that rubbish, and it was all connected to this Animus hub, this sort of secret second launcher for Assassin's Creed, separate from Steam or Ubisoft Connect. This would sort of act like the COD HQ for Assassin's Creed games, and now that Assassin's Creed Shadows is here, the hub has landed. So, is it as controversial as it looked at initial face value? Well, that's what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to deep dive into the Animus hub, we're going to look at everything, and we're going to speculate on what it maybe could have been and what it still is yet to become. So the first thing I want to say about the Animus hub is that I feel like this was built for the fans. Because if you're playing Assassin's Creed Shadows for the first time, you will click into the game and you will be greeted with this very screen here. On this sort of memories timeline. Now, I think this is a really cool idea, but you won't be joined by the other pages on this screen initially. So if I go back here, there is 4 separate sections of the game, but you won't see those when you first boot up the game. You will be placed directly here, and all you have to do is click into the game and start. So for you, playing the game as an average gamer, you're not even going to notice that the Animus hub is here. But for the fans who know what an Animus is for a start, and the people who really enjoy this franchise, you're going to want to stick around and explore and see maybe just what's in store. You do get greeted with this little video message at the beginning explaining the context that you are sort of reliving the memories of your ancestors and just explaining the premise of Assassin's Creed. I mean, that's fair enough. It has been a while. And I must say, at a first glance, this timeline page is a fantastic idea. I think this is so fun, so like immersive as well into the world of the modern day side of Assassin's Creed, which does seem to be delegated to this Animus hub, and there are little inklings of it in the main game as well, but I think this is mostly where the modern day stuff is going to sit for the next few years especially. So as you can see, there's the previous Assassin's Creed games as well. So we've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Origins, and Odyssey. So at the minute, that's all there is, okay? There's only the RPG games in the franchise, and I don't particularly know why that is. Maybe it's because they're the only ones that can run on like PS5. But something that did capture my attention is that if you go to Shadows, right, you will skip down the timeline, and as you can see on this left hand side, every single date on the side of here is an Assassin's Creed game. So they do exist on the timeline even if they're not in the game. For example, at the bottom there, you can see 1715 is Assassin's Creed 4. We've got 1754, which is the Hatham sections of AC3, or it could be Rogue. I think Rogue is 65 though, so I don't think Rogue's actually on here. Then we've got 1789, which is Unity, and 1868, which is Syndicate. So the later Assassin's Creed games in the timeline do still exist. They're still here in some capacity. The only thing is, you can't access them. And I want to give just an in real-time example of what happens when you click into one of the previous games. Because with Shadows, you get a very ergonomic design. It literally transitions immediately into the loading screen of the game. There's no pauses, there's no breaks, straight into the game. However, if you choose one of these previous Assassin's Creed games with, by the way, I should mention, these really nice, upscaled sort of graphics of each of the characters. These CG renders, you know, switching between the genders as well. That's a really, really nice effect. And I think it, you know, obviously for Shadows, you've got the in-game model because this comes out with Shadows. So it's been designed with that in mind. But I think this is a really nice inclusion. So for example, I've got Assassin's Creed Mirage installed. So if I click into Assassin's Creed Mirage now, I'll show you exactly what happens. So it gives you a little bit of a brief. It tells you the time period more than the characters, because obviously the focus here is showing you the different time periods. It's obviously got a little bit of blurb. You've got the store shoved in your face. And you've also got the podcast, Echoes of History, which tells you more about the history of the time period, which I think is nice. I think it is nice to put that on the front page as well, because some people might just want to learn about that time period, not actually play it. So you press launch, obviously, because that's how every Assassin's Creed game should start, with a launch. Ubisoft Connect then starts loading Mirage, and I'll just leave it there because I don't need to play the entire game. Oh well, never mind, it's going to load it anyway. So that will actually close Assassin's Creed Shadows immediately and start opening Assassin's Creed Mirage. So it kind of works in a similar way. It doesn't transition you immediately into the game because it is still a part of the Assassin's Creed Shadows game, but I really do like it. So I tried to play Assassin's Creed Shadows on stream last night and it was an absolute disaster, and the reason for that is that my drivers were outdated and the game was stuttering, and it was a bad experience. But in the process of trying to fix this, I ended up looking through the files of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and there's an interesting folder in there called videos, and if you have a look into it, you can do this yourself on PC. If you have a look into the video file, there are videos for basically every cutscene in the game, every tutorial that we saw in those, the articles, that's it. Every single video that's featured in those articles that came out before launch are in this videos folder. And also, I don't know what correlation this has to the actual game, but there are trailers that have been recut. They've been cut down. They're brand new. They're using existing footage, but they've been cut specifically for Valhalla, Mirage, Odyssey, and Origins. There are 4 separate files in a video folder, and they are cinematic trailers sort of for each of those games. And I'm really not sure why they're there, because it's not like when I clicked into Mirage there, it played a trailer to transition us in. So I don't know. I don't know why those are in there, but maybe there's plans in the future to properly integrate these games, maybe by playing a trailer to transition you into it. Who knows? But for the most part, I think this timeline idea is really nice. And for 90% of players, this is the only part of the Animus that you're ever going to look at, which I find really funny. But if we go back, if you press Animus here, this is where things get interesting. So first up, that was memories. System is just your bog standard like benchmarking for the game, which I had to do in order to get the game running. But the next one is called projects. And this is basically your battle pass. Okay? Now I am going to do a separate video going through what's in the battle pass and do a proper deep dive into that. But just to quickly gloss over it, this is a free battle pass. You do not have to pay real world money. What you do is you complete these challenges in Shadows and use that currency to buy bits and pieces, collectibles, outfits in the main game. So this is currently free. I have a sneaky suspicion that originally it wasn't meant to be, and I am a little bit suspicious of that, but for now it's free. There could be plans in the future to maybe make it less free, who knows? Maybe originally it was meant to be some big paid seasonal content thing, because they never mentioned this at all in the marketing. This was only through leaks that we ever found out that there was going to be a battle pass. So there's like one for Yasuke and one for Naoe. Funny enough, it's showing the Yasuke picture for Naoe's, but yeah. So this, I feel, is relatively undercooked for now. I think they've snuck it in there, and it's either something that was meant to be bigger or something that is about to get bigger. I wouldn't be surprised if they launch some sort of Season 1 later into the game's lifespan. That's all there is for projects for now. Then we have the exchange. The exchange, I feel, is not working. What? There we go. It was just the Ubisoft's server there, apparently. In the world of Assassin's Creed Shadows, in the open world, you will find keys just scattered around the world. They're just these little helix icons. You go and collect them. You can see that I've picked up 30 myself, which are just in this bundle. that you find in the open world, and using those credits that you get from exploring the game completely free, you can buy items from the shop, from the Helix Store. And this is a fantastic idea and a great way for a lot of players to get around paying for any of their cosmetics. Something I forgot to mention earlier, when talking about the exchange, is that the exchange uses these keys, right? And you can find them in the world, but there's not very many of them. So I've only got 30 keys from finding a bundle, but like Yasuke's armor, well, I've already got that. This Cabo is 1350, so it's going to take a lot for me to get this. However, what I forgot to mention earlier is that in the projects, in the battle pass, you will get like 1,000 keys, so you're almost guaranteed to be able to get some of this, which makes it really easy to access. So in a way, this justifies never buying anything from the store, which is kind of nice. The deluxe edition bonus for this game was the Sekiro pack. In a way, I'm a bit negative about this, because some people will have spent £75 on the game, me, thinking that this Sekiro pack is unique to that deluxe edition and that it's not going to be available to any other players. A bit like the Vault edition in Call of Duty, that's what I figured. But that is not the case. It seems that Sekiro pack is just another gear pack that people can buy for full price, or they can even get it for free by just playing the game. So that's a little bit weird, but it does refresh every week, so there is a chance that you're going to miss out on these. And there's like some stuff, you know, from like undead packs. Interesting to me, I do want to highlight this one quickly. This outfit is just a recolor of the Sekiro armor, but with less like pieces on the top. Like, it's the same coattails. They're already just reusing the same models, but we'll get into that, I'm sure, as the game's lifespan goes on. And then you can get this fox. It's only 600. That means you've got to find 20 bundles in the actual game just to get this. And at the minute, I don't think there's a way of buying keys. I'm pretty sure it's a separate currency for the store, so that's not too bad. Then we get on to the vault. This has me excited. These encrypted data files. So the first one in here, these are basically videos. These are like your cinematics. The first one here is the introduction to AC Shadows from Abstergo, which gives you like a bit of propaganda messaging from Abstergo that transitions into the assassins, sort of taking over your Animus as they have tended to do over the last few entries. It's a cool little cinematic, actually. I did think it was quite a nice introduction to the game, and it's a nice reminder that Abstergo still exists in this universe. But then we've got some encrypted ones, and I could not find these in the files for the game, so I don't know if they're hidden. Some of them I tried to access, actually, and I couldn't. So there is a chance that maybe some of these are not available to me, or like the devs have actually hidden the files. But there are other videos yet to be unlocked. Maybe in future seasons, maybe by the time you finish the game, you'll unlock them. Personally, I'm only like 3 or 4 hours into the game. I only got the game running like late last night, so I have no idea if these are unlocked later in the story. Then, I mean, we may as well finish out. Again, I want to do a separate video where I talk about the Helix Store, because the Helix Store is egregious and very expensive, very, very expensive. And especially, there's some stuff in here that just goes directly against what I think the game's philosophy is. Like this map pack, for example. The map pack reveals a lot of locations in the game, and what I don't get is the whole way that the synchronization points were changed in this game is that you climb up to the top of a location to synchronize, and that's the only way you can see all the objectives in that area. Or you can buy 1,000 Helix credits and skip all of that and make synchronization in the game totally useless, which just seems against this whole you discover the locations that I thought Shadows was sort of going for, this like more immersive experience. You can bypass that, but you need to pay. And more importantly, look at this. It's gonna cost you £8 just for that. Which is crazy, because an outfit pack, a gear pack in this game is 2,300, which is $15.99. Okay? So what this means is, if you want to get a Yasuke, a Naue outfit, a mount and trinket, it's going to cost you 2,300. It's going to cost you like £17 or £16, sorry, just to get it. And they keep sort of doing this, don't they? They do these bonuses. They make it look like you're actually getting more for your money than you would be, when really you can block out this top part altogether. It's 2,300. That's exactly what you're paying for. It's never going to go up or down. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad that the supernatural aspects in this game are delegated purely to the shop, and they are like, don't get us wrong, they are nicely designed. Like, I can go into here and look at the actual gear. Yeah, don't get me wrong, that outfit's awesome. Of course it is. That's a really cool outfit. Look at the effects. The pieces of paper actually move when she does. And I mean, it is a nice looking outfit. It's a great outfit. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. Overall, I think the Animus Hub is a bit of a sort of niche. A lot more niche than I was expecting. I thought it would have been a little bit more sort of shoved in your face for the wrong reasons. And for that, I'm sort of glad that it does sort of sit at the moment quite empty. And we're going to have to see as the game goes on whether it becomes more aggressive or regressive. But I hope it does to some extent do a balance of that, because I would love to see the previous Assassin's Creed games in here, and I'd love to see Ubisoft fully take advantage of it and get just a couple of devs, like just get a narrative team of like 2 or 3 people just solely pumping content into the hub, just to give players a little bit of content in between the droughts, you know, just some new emails, some new lore. Like every week you may get a new piece of lore from Abstergo. Wouldn't that be great? The Helix Store is the worst part of it, but it's got nothing to do with the hub really. It's just a staple of the games at this point. So what do you think? What do you think of the Animus Hub? Do you think it's made the impact that it should have? And where do you see it going in the future? Let me know down below in the comments. If you did like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe for more Assassin's Creed content, and I will see you in the next video.